Hello, my love, and welcome back to a new episode of the Next Level Social Podcast. I'm your host, Ayla, and as always, I am so honored and grateful and excited to have you here for another episode of the show. And today we are recording both live on video and on audio. So if you're tuning in on audio as you normally do, amazing. But if you head over to Spotify, you'll actually be able to see me in real time and face to face and watch me on video there. Either way, it's up to your choice. And either way, I'm just so excited to have you here today for another episode of the show where we are diving into arguably one of my favorite topics to chat about. If you know, you know, which is money, honey. And I actually want to shift gears a little bit today around this subject and this topic of money, and really dive into a few of the different ways that you can become a magnet for money that, believe it or not, really don't have too much to do with what's actually going on inside your business or my business. So today's episode is really going to be focused around mindset and energy and the actions that we're taking in and around money, as opposed to the actions we're taking in around our business around money. Because the reality is, our energy when it comes to making money and attracting money is truly absolutely everything. And when we are living and breathing and acting and being the human beings that we are in this everyday world, we hold so much more power in the energetics that I think we even really truly believe, especially when it comes to money and making money. And it's so powerful, especially when you can lock in these energetic shifts around abundance and making money. And this is why when we really lean back and really tune into ourselves and our intuition specifically, if you've been here for a while, you know I'm an intuitive little bee over here. And we really focus on the things that we truly desire. I am a firm believer that we genuinely can make anything happen in our businesses, in our life, whether that be around money or abundance, or whether that be around relationships or fitness. When we can get the mindset around these things truly shifted, miracles can truly happen. And I know for a fact that when I get super serious about something I want, whether that be a revenue goal, whether that be a new house, a new car, whether that be, a friendship that I want to really expand on, even if it's something like a vacation, a relationship, even like having the lights turn green instead of red when I'm driving down the road, as crazy and as silly as that seems, I truly say the energetic frequency of gratitude and desire that I'm putting out toward these things can shift the perspective and shift how the outcome actually transpires. And I've really done some powerful shit and made some massive things happen through the power of my mind, as woo-woo as it may sound. And when we can lock ourselves into what we truly desire, believe it or not, and hold space for it and visualize it and move on it, of course we're moving on things, anything, and I mean anything, can happen, including creating an abundantly beautiful business and life. And I also want to be super open and transparent with that all being said, and something that I definitely hear every single day when it comes to my clients is this can also totally work against us if we're not careful. And yes, I'm going to keep it 100% real with you. I am guilty of this. I am not perfect. I am a human being, and it's not always positive rainbows and butterflies over here either. And things can be going super amazing. The vibe can be high. Everything feels flowy. Everything can be feeling in a really great vibration, and all the things that we desire can be happening for us. But on the flip side, if we let our mindset and our energetics wander and we start thinking about things that maybe don't feel so good, maybe that feel a little bit negative, maybe make us feel a little bit less energized, angry, upset, resentful even, we can also, on the flip side, start to manifest this type of energy, these type of outcomes into our businesses and our lives. So it really can go both ways. So you have to be super careful and mindful what you're putting your energy and what you're thinking on and what you're allowing your mindset to really take grasp over. The mind is very powerful. And I myself, like I said, I can take accountability in this. So you also need to be aware so we can make sure that we take control over this beautiful brain that we have in our minds. And that way, energetically, we can make some massive shifts that can be super beneficial and not the flip side. So I want you to ask yourself right now, do I want to manifest and focus on things that light me up, excite me, make me feel energized, make me feel excited about life and wanting to execute? Or do I want to dwell in the past? Do I want to think about the mistakes that I've made in my life? Or do I want to think about all of the fears and the anxieties that I have coming up that really bring me down? It's totally up to you in this work, what you put your time into, what you put your energy into, what you set your mindset on. And with that, this will be the life and or the business that you end up creating. It all starts with the mind. And then from there, energetically, things are going to start to happen. Things are going to start to move. Things are going to start to fall in place based on those thoughts. And those thoughts then, of course, turn into actions. And then those actions then turn into results. So make sure you choose wisely. I'm going to say it again. Make sure you choose wisely what you are allowing your mindset and your brain to focus on. Okay? And this is daily work. This is ever growing, ever changing, ever evolving, but it's something that we need to do every single day. And it takes work. Anything in life worthwhile takes work. And it takes work to take a strong hold over your mind and to ensure it doesn't take hold on you. The things that we focus on are the things that we put our energy into, and then from there, that energy is going to explode into reality. Think about it. For a couple of examples, even to put it into context for you, think about your partner, your husband, your wife, a relationship. If you think about something about your partner, maybe your kids even, that bother you, the more that you think about that thing that bothers you, maybe that one thing ends up turning into two things. Maybe those two things end up turning into four things. Maybe those four things end up turning into 10 things. And from there, you're spiraling into a negative hold of death, of negativity against this human being. Whereas maybe if you thought about, focus on one thing they did really amazing that day, and how quickly that one thing can become two really incredible gestures, or 3 or 4 or 10 really amazing things that all of a sudden you're focusing on and putting energy into, that magnify into a ripple effect of more positive things that this individual is doing. This goes for ourselves too. If you wake up one day and you look in the mirror and you see something that maybe bothers you, maybe it's a skin irritation, maybe your pants are fitting a little more tight than you'd like, and you're looking in the mirror and all of a sudden that negative thing turns into this thing, and all of a sudden we're being so self-critical and negative about ourselves, and it starts to spiral. How many of us can relate to that? I know that I firsthand can, for sure. Whereas if you woke up in the day and you looked in the mirror and you said, wow, talk to yourself like the little girl version of you. You look beautiful today. You're having an amazing hair day. You know what? My butt is looking great in these jeans. I'm feeling fly. And all of a sudden, the exact same thing can start to happen. And before you know it, you're walking into your day with bold confidence. You're ready to seize the day. You're ready to take on the world because your mindset from the get-go was set up in a way that allowed you to execute that way. So the best thing about all of this work, the mindset work, the energetic work, is that you have full control over your mind and how you will think and how the things around you will start to happen. And when we can really start to make these shifts and take the shift and the focus from victimhood and poor me syndrome that we're all guilty of, myself included, aka, why is this happening to me? And instead start to see the lessons and the blessings in every situation. Instead of, why is this happening to me? I'm sure we've heard this saying before. Why is this happening for me? And what can I learn from this situation? How can I grow and become better? How can I evolve? How can I take maybe this quote unquote failure and turn it into a success story? And then taking it even one step further from there and really leaning in and looking into, and inward especially, and looking into why when things don't go the way they want, why is that? And what part did I have that allowed this to happen? What role did I play here? Did I really even want that situation to happen? Or was I holding myself back? It's wild how we can manifest things not actually happening for us out of fear and resistance that maybe we're holding and suppressing internally, or maybe we're fully aware of it, but we're pretending like it's not happening, whether we're intentionally doing it or not. For me, for example, I held back on so many things in my business and my life, truly, out of fear for so long. I held back on even launching my business in the first place for probably 5 years before I actually did it. Even though I wanted to do it and I longed to do it, but I had a lot of resistance, a lot of fear holding me back, right? Leaving corporate, leaving my business, leaving my clients, leaving that secure paycheck, right? So instead, I was negative and I blamed everyone else and I had all of the excuses, but really internally, it was me holding myself back out of fear, and I had the internal resistance, and my mindset got the best of me, okay? Same with even every time I'm ready to expand and go into a new level, there's a lot of fear and resistance that holds me back. Scaling my business right now to 100K months. This has been a goal for me for a while, and I haven't quite hit it yet. And I can find myself spiraling and getting negative. And why isn't this happening? It's happening for her and her and her. And my mentor's mentor is, hitting 500K thousand months right now, $1 million months. And, I'm still at the 30 to 50K month dollar amount. Instead of finding gratitude in that, and instead of, maybe you're holding back something. Maybe there's some resistance there that's not allowing your mindset and your energetics to be able to execute. Because I also know that with that level of income, with that level of revenue comes great responsibility. It means more clients, it means more customers, it means more programs, it means probably having to hire more staff. It means more eyeballs probably coming to my content and visiting my page, and it's more exposure, and all of it is exciting, but all of it is actually quite terrifying. And I know internally those are some things that are holding me back, right? So understanding your mindset and your energy is truly key into anything and everything in your business and your life, especially calling in more money. So knowing when it comes to money that it's possible and truly believing, that's step number one. That's tip number one to becoming a magnet for money. It's really hard to manifest or to attract anything in your life if you don't believe that it's possible for you. If you don't believe that it's possible for you to have. This is true in absolutely everything, but specifically when it comes to money and finances. In order for energetics and manifestation to work, you have to be open to receiving. You have to be available for the money to come into your life, knowing that this desired outcome is possible for you. And it's not just saying it, it's a deep knowing and understanding. So you have to let go of your defenses, you have to let go of your walls, you have to get expansive, you have to get curious with the possibility, and allow yourself to be willing to see that you are a magnet for manifestation money. And really, truly, what do you have to lose? Absolutely nothing. Only everything to gain, both figuratively and actually. Okay? The next thing that I want to focus on is setting clear intentions and goals and getting really crystal clear on exactly what it is that you want when it comes to your financial health. It's nearly impossible to manifest something when we don't know exactly what it is that we want. Am I right or am I right? So it's time for you to get crystal clear. What do you want? Like, what do you really, really want when it comes to your business, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your abundant money lifestyle? Even if you think it's not possible for you, no one's going to be upset with you for not having it. Nothing can go wrong right now in this moment, and nothing can go wrong even if you got it, the desired outcome that you want. So if it was possible, what would you allow yourself to want? Really think about it right now. How much spending money do you have? How much disposable income do you have? What is your current base salary? What is your monthly recurring revenue goal? What is the next raise, promotion, bonus? What's your next launch? What is the money that feels kind of scary, very expansive, but also super desirable for you and your family and your lifestyle? What does that look like? And don't worry about if it's happening now. Don't worry if it's happening in the future. just simply sitting with it and acknowledging it and admitting that that's what you want is amazing. And if you find that some of these thoughts and these feelings and these desires scare you, that's a good thing. It's good to get expansive. You want to be a little bit scared when you think of money. You don't want to be comfortable. Comfortable is boring. Comfortable gets us nowhere. Comfortable is not going to push us outside of our boundaries in order to change the outcome that we're in right now. That's the whole point of creating more, right? It's expansive work. So what it feels a little nerve-wracking when I always say if you're not nervous, you're not ready, that's a good thing. This means that you're getting to the gushy, juicy stuff. This is where we want you, okay? So getting super clear on exactly what you want. The next piece is letting go of guilt around money and letting go of the shame around wanting to attract money, right? So many of my clients, so many of my friends and my family members, myself included, for the longest time, there's been so much work here around this topic of shame and guilt around money that stems from so many different things, but so many people often feel conflicted or guilty or shame around their desires around money, and they feel like they might be selfish, they feel embarrassed, they feel bad or wrong for wanting what they want, or even maybe having what they have and sharing it. That's definitely something firsthand that I've experienced over the last few years as my business has seen some success. Feeling embarrassed to say, hey, you know what? This is what's happening. That family, friends, whomever is going to judge me. And that stems from, early childhood money wounds and traumas around money, and that's a conversation for a whole other day that we could dive into. But if you really look at it, your reasons for wanting the level of income that you want, they're not bad. They're not selfish at all. Maybe you want to have more money or an increased income or increased revenue in your goal to create a better life for your children, to get them into that sports class that that they've been desiring, that is going to be so good for their mind, body, and mental health this summer. Maybe you want to start to nourish yourself and really start to buy and support locally and get really, really clean mind, body, and soul. Maybe you want a new outfit so you can walk boldly into your office next week with confidence. Maybe you just simply want to be able to pay your bills with ease and not worry about whether or not your mortgage is going to be able to come out this month without something getting declined. None of these things are bad and none of these things are wrong, and you shouldn't feel guilt or shame for wanting to create a magnetically bold and beautiful life. You are allowed to want things. You are allowed to feel good in your life and to enjoy your life, whether it be big, small, medium. It's just getting clear. That's why it's so important to get clear. Okay, what do I want? What makes me happy? Where would I need to be in order to feel really good in my body, in my home, in my life right now? And then how can I let go of any shame or guilt that I have around that? Because we all carry some. It's normal. But just having conversations like this and listening to podcasts and watching podcasts like this is a really beautiful first place to start, okay? So it's letting go of the shame and then taking it one step further and really reworking the way that we're actually thinking when it comes to attracting money. So right off the get-go, if you think having money is bad or you think people that have money is bad, you will never allow yourself to be able to attract more money. If you're like, oh, she's rich, she cares about labels, you're never also going to become rich. I'm just going to tell you that right here, right now. So really tuning in and re-examining some of the way that your thoughts actually think, and really understanding that you likely have a lot of thoughts around and ideas around money that probably stop you from allowing yourself to be able to receive more money into your life. And like I said, these stem from so many different wounds, including family, your parents, how your parents view money, religion, community, culture, friendships. The list truly goes on and on, so don't feel guilty around it. It's the way that it always has been, but just because it's been how it's always been doesn't mean it needs to be the way it continues to be. So these are some ideas that could be blocking you from manifesting more money. So really just examining the way you think about it. And if something doesn't necessarily feel aligned with attracting more, I'm going to encourage you to stop, pause, and try to do a reframe there, okay? So the next piece is actually making money moves. I say this all the time in the podcast and with my clients. The energetics, the mindset, the manifestation, yes, absolutely key, fundamental, foundational. But if we are not actually taking action and making moves to get money and create the life that we want, it's not going to happen. Money doesn't just grow on trees because we think about it. So I always like to be super, super clear on that. And oftentimes when it comes to making moves, it really is just one step or one move that allows the money that you desire to flow into your physical reality, truly. So it could be as simple or as big as an idea that you have for a business or a business model and starting to take action on it. It could be an opportunity that you feel like you need to take a chance on. It could be a person that you sense you need to call. It's really tuning in, having some ideas, and then actually taking action. It could be a new launch. It could be following up with a potential client. It could be following up with a client a warm lead or a hot lead. It's knowing that money is out there, knowing that there's so much of it that is there to be made, but then actually taking action. Not just like sitting at home thinking about it and manifesting it and praying that it's going to come and fall into our lap. Wouldn't that be nice? It all has to work together. It's all a circle and a cycle of manifestation, energetics, mindset, getting clear, having a game plan, and then actually moving. That is when things and shit really starts to fall into place when it comes to being a magnet for money. The next piece that I want to talk about, which is incredibly important, is please, for the love of God, do not give up on the money goals that you have, the success that you want. After I decide on what I want and know that it's possible for me, and remove any thoughts and ideas that could be holding me back from achieving this goal. And sometimes there's like a bit of some downtime there. That's normal. For me, it has to be so important and so imperative that I stay with it and I continue on the track and I keep moving forward and I do not give up. So moving through life as if the money that I want is coming to me no matter what, knowing that the money that I put out, it's coming right back. Being generous, having an abundant mindset is very critical in order to be a magnet for money. And this is often referred to as, this is getting a little bit woo-woo here, but it's often referred to by the metaphysical teachers as being an energetic match for the money you want to receive. And it means that the thoughts that I think, the thoughts that you think, the words that I say, the words that you say, the emotions that I feel, the emotions that you feel, and the actions that we are all taking are in line with getting what we want, no matter how it looks, no matter what. And we're not going to give up until we get there. So the sixth tip is not giving up, okay? And then I have two more points that I wanted to come across here. And this one kind of summarizes everything that we've been talking about thus far, which is having a deep knowing and a very deep understanding that it's possible no matter what. As you work on this practice of being a magnet and manifesting money and having a couple really strong miracle wins under your belt, you can stop viewing manifestation as something that just happens to occur to you. And you get to start viewing it as moving into the next level of growth and abundance and financial increase as completely inevitable. Of course, it's going to happen. I say that to my clients all the time when they tell me about a plan that they have and a goal that they have, and I always will, reply to them and say, of course that's going to happen. Absolutely, that's a 10K launch. It's a no-brainer. You have this set up, this set up, this set up. Of course, they're taking action. You believe in it. Energetically, you're there. You have the audience, the clientele. That's your goal. Here's your plan. Absolutely, 10K launch in the bag. If you know, for one of my clients, this is something that I say all the time because I truly believe it. I believe it for them. I believe it for me. I believe it for you. It's a deep knowing and understanding that it's possible because it is. And when we can tune in and dig deep and lean into this inevitable idea that no matter what, it's going to be successful, that's when things will pop off. Okay? And at this point, you know that each and every new desire is a sign. It's a sign telling you what you want. It's a sign showing you that if it's possible for her, it's possible for me. And you're meant to also have it. And you're intended to go into this life and to live this life exactly how you want it. So when you have a desire, when you feel a certain way, when you see someone else have something that maybe you want, lean into it, tune into it. I'm going to encourage you to do that because your desires guide you and you can call in the things you've ever wanted. And it just gets easier and better as you go. All right, the very last tip that I wanted to reference in terms of being a magnet for money is self-care. So this one might seem completely off topic of what we've been talking about thus far, but this is very personal to me. And for me, self-care is absolutely vital for me to be able to attract new levels and become a magnet for money. And when I talk self-care, this is kind of my self-care routine that works for me. And this will look different for every single person. So for me, self-care is movement, is moving my body every single day or daily in one way, shape, or form. And this doesn't mean that I'm doing like an intense, high intensity interview training every single day. I do that a couple days a week, but that could look like going for a walk. That could look like doing a light Pilates. That can be doing a swim at my local fitness club. Moving my body for me is a form of self-care that allows me to show up as the best version of me, which then allows me to show up as the best version for my family and my friends, my customers, my clients, my team member. So that's a form of self-care for me. Another form of self-care for me is sleep. Sleep is so very important to all of us, but for me, it kind of goes hand in hand with moving my body, sleep and movement. If I am not getting a full 8 hours of sleep, I am not able to show up the way that I need to in order to be able to call in the levels of money that I desire and be a magnet for money. Very similar to movement. I'm grumpy. I'm not able to focus. I'm not energized. I am not able to show up energetically and physically and emotionally in order to financially be able to attract and obtain and execute and make moves the way I need to. So movement and sleep for me go hand in hand. As well as for me, self-care is a form of doing things that make me feel good, visually. I love to get my hair done. I love to set a bi-weekly nail appointment. I love to get a massage. I love to have a night out with my gal pals every week or couple of weeks. These are things that light me up. These are things that recharge my battery so that I'm able to put the battery into the wall and be able to execute for you, to be able to show up in this podcast and pour into you every week, to be able to think, to be able to breathe, and to be able to enjoy life. And that is what it's all about. So I encourage you to really tune into what you need to fill up your cup. Always they say you can't pour from an empty cup. So what fills up your cup? I have a whole list: eating well, nourishing, finding gratitude. I can't end this magnetic money manifestation podcast without leaning into gratitude, because if we don't have an attitude of gratitude, we have nothing. And it comes back actually full circle as we wrap this episode up, it comes full circle to what we were talking about in the beginning around energetics, and gratitude is a giant piece of mindset and energetics. Seeing the glass half full instead of empty, being grateful for where we're at, and a divine knowing that we're going to get exactly where we want. But in this moment, we can look around and find things that we're grateful for now in order to attract the life that we desire, from a financial, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, whatever it is for you in this moment. For this episode's purposes, it's financial, but whatever it is for you in this moment in your business and life, it can happen, and I know it can. All right, my love, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you found value in today's episode. I loved pouring into you. I love seeing you on camera if you're watching, and if you're just tuning in, listening from whatever it is that you're doing, I hope you're having the most beautiful day. If you liked this episode, if you found any value in it, I would be so honored and grateful if you took a screenshot and shared it on social. Tag me at Ayla Sorachuk. That would mean the world to me. I love seeing who's tuning in. I love connecting with you and having conversations and seeing who's tuning in each week. All right, Queen, until next time, have a beautiful day. Take care.